Okay. You know what? I need to come with me, Pedro. Come on. We're going to go talk to someone. We're going to talk to a friend. Too much shit has been going on. I need someone to talk to. Right, Pedro? Yeah. You always give me... What? I'm sorry, what? You were just on my shoulder. Okay, anyways. You always give me Pedro. You understand. Everyone says you're a parrot, but I know you're a pigeon. You're a pigeon. Yeah. God, I hope Sai's home. You know what? After all that shit that's been happening, at least want to check in on him, see how he's holding up. Plus some, I don't know. Have a couple of questions, I guess. Okay. Sai? You home?
Huh? Yeah, yeah. I'm coming right up.
Hey.
Oh, hey.
Uh,
What brings you here? What's up?
not much. I just, I don't know. A lot's been going on. I just wanted to check in on you, make sure that you're holding up okay, and
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm constantly knee deep in work, and it's nice to get some fresh air at least. So, how have you been?
well, um, I've been better.
Better? Better how?
I don't know. I just there's so much going on, and I don't even
Yeah,
know how to feel about any of it anymore.
listen, I don't. It's been. It's been a roller coaster of emotions recently, I can tell you that much.
Yeah. I guess.
It is. It's just tiresome, I suppose.
Yeah. I guess I just came over here to talk and not like a talk about shit that's going on. I want to get my head off of everything that's going on in Marigold. All this shit. I guess I just came here for a distraction, I guess.
I'll tell you what. I think a distraction is what we both need. Um, tell you what. How about you ask me a question and I'll answer for you. It doesn't even have to be, related to anything that's been going on. So
Any questions at all? Anything?
yeah, whatever.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color?
Yeah.
Ah, shoot, that would have to be bright reds and greens.
That's a good choice.
What about you? What's your favorite color?
I'd have to say green, maybe yellow. One of those two.
Not bad, although I'm not particular to yellow myself. Not bad
Mm,
choices.
yeah. What?
The sun is pretty.
Yeah. Sunset's gorgeous. What was your hometown like? You talk about it every so often, but every time people ask about it, you're always like, oh, it's a long story.
Oh, right, I suppose it is only fair that I delve into my past. At least a bit. So, I lived in what we used to call a mega city called Korsaka. It is, it's got buildings that reach to the stars, was bright lights and display screens that displayed things without even screens being present. It was it was crazy technology. When I was a kid, I didn't think we'd ever reach that level of beauty. There it was. One day, though, things didn't seem so beautiful. I used to work as a doc, essentially in the same manner of what doctors we have nowadays, but instead of being a typical heal you doctor, I uh I built things for people to put in their body essentially. I replaced arms, I built combat tools, I helped militaries, I helped private organizations. I was good at cutting people open and making them better, essentially. That was my job. Uh my family had a long line of people that I did my job with, but my father was completely opposed to the way of life that we chose to live. So the generation of, I guess, implant docs were completely destroyed with him. But when I took up the mantle, it almost seemed natural. But after a while of doing something like that and supplying people big names with some of the most destructive and dangerous tech you can think of, and then having somebody who's poor as hell walking into the same shop and getting basically garbage, it just gets to you after. I don't like to think about my old profession, what people would have thought, but I guess today's different. You know, back then we had all sorts of different ways to cure things that we didn't essentially understand. Like, for instance, there was this one store that quite a few people frequented that I didn't really have an interest in. It helped them sleep. It was sort of well, it was a pod that you slept in that was so cold that would freeze you.
You would
It was sort of a
freeze you?
yeah, uh
How does. Don't you die when you
because
get frozen?
oh, I don't know what they did with it, but it was some sort of technology that kept the body warm and cold at the same time. So it was in a state of basically hibernation. It was a one-way trip to sleep, essentially. People would pay to go to these cryogenic hotels to sleep easier. It was a
Would
huge market.
would they wake up in the morning?
The attendees they would switch out every night, and during, like I said, it was like a hotel sort of. They would go to these pods and wake these people up when their due date was over, essentially. They would stay there for days, weeks, months, or sometimes even years, depending on how rich they are. It was a euphoric sense of sleep where you're able to basically dream and control your dream for as long as you want, while the body in real life is in a state of complete hibernation and safety.
That.
So it's it was cool on paper, but let's just say I don't have a very good history with cryogenics.
What do you mean by
Um,
that? if you don't want to answer, you don't have to.
No, it's alright. I mean, of all the people who I'd like to talk to about it, it would be you. So back in my old world, um, there was a certain client that I always had, always coming in to get the coolest implants, but never used them for bad. It's for his name, but he was a really nice person, and often I would give him implants for free while he went to go do jobs, so he would pay me back in the money that he earned. I just trusted him that much. So, one day, I'm running the store, and his usual time has been completely missed. And I'm wondering, did the last job go okay? Is he gonna get my money back to me? But I wasn't worried about that. I was more worried about his health. Maybe the implant failed. Maybe I did something wrong. So I tried to get in contact with him. And when I couldn't do that, I figured maybe he's in his frequent spots, possibly in said cryogenic hotel. So here I am walking down the streets of probably the most dangerous town in Korosako, which was Haywood. That's where I lived, essentially. It was the most dangerous of most dangerous. Only idiots would walk there alone. So I'm walking to the most back alley cryogenic hotel in the town, because that's a place he liked to frequent. And I asked the owner, is he here? I would like to talk to him. And as a matter of fact, he responded, he is here. And I guess a part of me was relieved, but afterwards, something happened that I just couldn't forgive him for. So it turns out he was working with a huge gang, a gang of people who steal implants from rich people and sell them on the black market. They're basically ripping parts of their body and selling. And I just so
What?
happened, yeah, it was bad. I just so happened to have one of the more expensive custom arms around because I built it myself from the ground up, completely modified. It was a work of art, and it really helped me with my study and my work, but they saw it as something else, and they decided they wanted it too. So, after a fierce fight that I completely lost, they ripped my arm off and they stole it.
Oh
I
my
was
god.
bleeding, dying, but that wasn't enough for them. The man I trusted wasn't even looking at me in the eyes when they shoved me into one of the cryo chambers and put me to permanent sleep. If I'm not awake, I can't tell. And they can't kill me because they're in rival gang territory. So why not just keep me on sleep forever? They owned the shop anyway. That's what they did. But somewhere within the time that I was asleep, something went wrong. The city went into full war, maybe? I still don't exactly know. But Korsako was completely obliterated. It could have been storms, it could have been nuclear bombs, it could have been what have you. But the world that I knew, it was no longer. I uh I dug myself out of that cryo chamber. I don't even know how I survived. And when I came to, after 2 hours of trying to exit this weird underground city that was essentially the past Korsako but now buried, I gathered what I could gather, started putting together some semblance of an arm because I needed a second one with some old tools, old parts, what have you. And I just left, got out of there, started walking for miles, miles, and I quickly realized that the world that I knew before is no longer. Everything's different. Everything's primal. The cities are becoming more modern, but they're nowhere near the technological level that they were at. I don't know when that was. Or I don't. That was thousands of years ago, maybe. Everyone I've ever known, my family, the people I trusted, and possibly those gang members are dead, long turned to bone. And here I am. And after months, years, and years of walking to towns that I don't understand, I came across a kingdom called Gold Meridian, and this one town that I don't frankly remember very much of, but I spent a good amount of time there. Eventually, I wandered here, and it's just been here ever since.
That. I'm so sorry you went through all of that.
That's why I don't like thinking about the old world. I put so much time and effort into my craft. So much. I was lucky to be living in a town like that and still alive and respected. I had a good life. And now that life is way behind. And frankly, I don't like this one better. Alright, I killed the mood. Enough about me. What about you? Well, where did you come from? Do you remember anything from your past?
Well, um, I remember the barn. Used to live on a barn in a farm with my family. I think
Hmm,
it was just me, my mom, my dad for a while.
interesting.
Um,
There's a
something
time
happened.
there's a time in my wanders where I came across a huge farm and a family of four. What if that was you at a young age?
Yeah, I. It could have been. That'd be really funny, though.
I I doubt it. That was years ago. But I mean interesting. Interesting. Do you remember any of their faces, names whatsoever? I mean, I didn't get to know the family of the barn, but you know,
I wish I wish I could say that I remember what my family looks like. I wish I could say that I even remembered how many family members I had. If I had even a mom and a dad, I think I had a mom and a dad, and I think it was just us. There could have been more. I don't remember. Everything before meeting Azazel is pretty fuzzy. Basically gone at this point. Azazel
terrifying.
was the one who knew everything. Now he's gone.
I'm I'm sorry. It must be hard not being able to remember like that.
I just. I wish I at least remembered my family, you know? Who I was before this, who they were before all this. All I know is that I lived on that barn with people and then they were gone or something, and then Azazel moved in. And then Azazel took care of me. And then the barn burned down and we ran into Citrus on our way here. She had been leaving as well or something. I don't know why, but we all met up and left and wandered here and found Marigold. So,
And Azazel was the cloaked one, right?
yeah, never quite
I
liked
don't
showing his face.
I don't really like him much. Anyway, yeah, it it terrifies me losing memories of the past. That's why even it's hard. You always have to come back to it because there's only one thing worse than thinking back on horrible memories, and that's losing them. That's why back in my back in the old world, we used to have the technology to basically play back memories as if you were still. It was something that I often, and over time, it's hard to forget those memories. It's a vivid picture. Sometimes you can remember every little detail. It's terrifying to know that there are people nowadays, including you, that can't remember fundamental parts of their life. I couldn't imagine how scary that must be. I'm sorry.
I mean, most of my life it's been fine. If I forget something, Azazel remembers it, and then he tells me, but I came home from the freaking whatever we just did where we found that hell tree thing, and I came home and there was a letter in my mailbox, and Azazel just left. Didn't even say anything to me. Didn't say goodbye to me, just left me a letter.
You know what? I'm tired of people just leaving us. I'm tired of people coming to this town and making a name for themselves only to just abandon us.
I
Jay,
second that.
Azazel, who else? Who else is just gonna up and leave? You know, it's funny because I'm starting to see a pattern here. I don't like Jay, he leaves. Don't like Azazel, he leaves. Who's next, huh? I don't like Asher. Are they gonna leave?
Hopefully.
Oh, it's nice to talk about things like this.
Yeah. I have one more question. It's nothing heavy like what we've been talking about. Is
Yeah, what's up?
Sai your full name? Is it like a nickname or something? What even is your full name? I don't know it.
Oh, I had to change my name because my name was associated with a dark past, the past of the old world. Um, but instead of just outright changing it, kept it similar. People will never know what the full abbreviation would be of, Psy. But it's Simon. I'm I'm Simon. My name is Simon Simmons. I know it's
Simon
a funny name.
Simmons?
It's a funny name.
It's
I
a
know.
little bit funny.
My dad was Frank Simmons. My mom. It's a
I
it's
still think
ironic.
Simon Simmons is a little bit funnier than Frank Simmons, but
All right, all right. This is why I'm named Psy. All
I
right.
don't know, Simon fits you.
I abandoned that name a long time ago because
Fair.
when I think of the name, the past. But the past doesn't. Simon as a name really hurt me anymore. This may sound crazy to you, but I started talking to myself in my head. Um,
I mean, that
it
doesn't
started
sound
to
that
freak me.
crazy.
It's the literal definition of crazy. Uh,
I think everyone talks to themselves just a little bit in their heads.
that's not what this was. This was something else. Like two parts of me were talking to each other, and it was creepy at first, but over time, uh, it became apparent that it was just another part of me that I've forgotten, trying to work its way back into my brain. And It's gone now, but I'm starting to feel whole again.
That's
It's like
good.
it's like I found a part of me that I didn't know I lost. Don't worry about it. Just know that, the name doesn't bother me anymore. I'm just I'm surprised nobody's asked before you though. Sai
I
isn't,
mean,
exactly the most common name in the world.
I don't think people really second guess anybody when they tell someone their name. I mean, nobody's asked anyone what their like. What does JD even stand for? Nobody's asked JD what JD even stands for. Is it just
That's
JD or
true.
is it short for something? You know?
Maybe it's spelled Jaydee. And
I
we've just gotten
doubt
it
it.
wrong this whole time.
I feel like if his name was spelled Jaydee, like I feel like he would have told people that we're spelling his name wrong.
Well, what if in his youth he was always spelt wrong and he just kind of accepted it? Like when in the old world we had bus drivers. The bus driver would tell you your name is wrong, and or the bus driver would say your name wrong, and you just give up eventually and just let them call you. I don't know. It's possible.
I
We never
mean,
really asked him.
yeah.
What about you, Wybie? Do you have a full name?
I mean, for what I remember, it's just YB. My last name, I never can remember what it is. I think it started with a B, but I could be completely wrong and I don't know, you know? But just
Hey,
YB works.
huh? Is Wybie a nickname, or has it always been your name?
I think it's always been my name. It could be a nickname. Um, but it's what Azazel's always called me, so
Huh. Interesting.
it's what I go with. Well,
Very interesting.
it is nighttime. We've been sitting out here for a while.
Huh? Would you look at that? I got so wrapped up in my own thoughts and talking about you, talking about me, that hours have gone by, hasn't they?
Yeah. Well, I should probably get back to my place. Oh, have you met Pedro? He's a pigeon, see?
Uh, yeah, a pigeon,
Yeah.
cute pigeon, Wybie.
Thanks.
You
Come on,
finally
Pedro.
got one.
Yeah, I finally got one. I had to go back and adventure a little bit on my own. I finally got a pigeon.
Huh.
Alright, well, I'll leave you be now, Sai. It was nice talking. Really.
It was. So it's always good to clear your mind of all the troubles of today,
Yeah.
innocent path, even if we have very little of it.
Yeah. I agree. Alright. Well, I'll see you around. I feel like I'll be talking to you very soon.
Be careful on the way home.
I'll be okay. I can handle myself. Plus, I got Pedro.
You're right. That is a mean looking bird.
Yeah. Kick some ass if he needs to. Bye, Sai.
Remind me not to mess with Pedro.
Yeah, that's right.
Bye, Wybie.
Bye, Sai.